Hey everyone, I am just checking in to do my weekly check-in for the Utah Kids Coat Drive. And I figured this was as good of time as any since I just finished updating literally everything for the week. To just tell you some of those numbers. So I'm gonna make this simple. Let me pull up, I have so many different tabs open. Okay. And by the way, all of this is on Google Drive. If you want a link to see it for yourself, obviously I'm not going to send you the names of people who have requested coats or donated cash for coats, but if you want to see the individual amounts, you're welcome to email me and ask for a link. You can see the receipts, you can see what I have spent, so you can see everything I am telling you is absolutely accurate. But obviously we would redact any potentially private information, even potentially private, like addresses, phone numbers, names. Really, you will not know. You wouldn't be able to tell at all who any of this would be. But if you are interested in seeing how the cash is being used, you're totally welcome to reach out to me and ask for that link, and I will be happy to send you a Utah Kids Coat Drive 2020 link where you cannot edit, but you can read. I would be happy to send that to you. Okay, so let me pull up what I have. I hope everybody's had a good week so far, by the way. It's been nice that it's been a little warm, right? My hope initially was that because of the warmth and starting earlier that people would get their coat requests in, but also that people would donate in advance. What I saw a lot in 2019 was like those weeks that were very, very, very cold. We saw a lot more donations with both coats and cash than we did when it was like a little warmer, like in the, like, you know Utah weather in the fall. Like some weeks it's like 30 and then it'll go back to 60 or whatever. Unfortunately, that has not happened. With the exception of the first weekend that I started this, the 19th through the 20th, that's when I raised the majority of my funds for our community project, Utah Kids Coat Drive. Raised about 80% of it in those first 2 days, and it has been a struggle bus situation since then. To the point where it's almost like I'm not dreading making this because I love this project so much and I think it does so much good for our kids, but it's also like kind of hard, just ego-wise, to put my own feelings aside. Like, why am I not doing better at raising money? Why am I not doing better at getting people interested to donate coats? Like, what am I doing wrong? So that's a little hard for that reason to make this video, but I promised y'all that I would make one every week, so that's what I'm doing. But anyway, let me pull things up for you. Okay, so we still have, this week we received, so since last week, in hand, I've had a lot of people interested in donating coats, but y'all, I don't count it unless it's in my hand or in Jake's hand if you're interested in donating coats. So this week, I only have 3 new coat donations. And this is from somebody I know. She dropped them off to me, and but there were 3 coat donations, and it all came from one person. I'm pretty disappointed. And I'm not necessarily disappointed in y'all, but I am disappointed in what am I doing wrong that y'all don't see how important this project is? What am I doing wrong that I am not inspiring you to want to be more proactive in getting those coats to me? I confirmed with Jake yesterday that everybody who had messaged me and said they were interested in donating coats, that had messaged me directly, I confirmed with him yesterday that he has reached out to every single person. And so, we're trying. I will totally own the fact that, I got a little bit of a late start with the coat donation, figuring out a process, until finally submitting that over to Jake and just saying, I just don't have time this year. I have a full-time job and I just don't have time to figure this out. Can you take over? And he's done a great job. But it's a little hard to see that we only had 3 coat donations this week. It's been even harder for me because I've been trying to shop a lot. And it's been really hard. So this week I have also only purchased 10 coats because every store has like nothing under $20 per coat. It has been so slim pickings. And so the fact, like that coupled with, this week I bought 10 more coats. We got 3 coats donated from one person. And then we raised $160 this week. That came from 3 people. And this week total, I spent $109.29. Was able to get a 20% discount from Savers in Draper. I got very lucky to find 10 coats there. Here's another reason it makes me nervous. So as of now, based on my numbers, let me pull up my distribution chart. Okay. Okay, so as of right now, with all the coats I just bought, oh brother. Okay, I still need 27 girl coats. This is after everything inputted today and up to date. I still need 27 girl coats. I still need 35 boy coats, and I still need 4 neutral coats. Or actually 3 neutral coats, and I need 1 blanket for a little girl who's in a wheelchair. We were so lucky where the first weekend I raised 1,770 something, but one thing y'all didn't know is one of those donations was $1,000, and it came from somebody I knew growing up, and it was an incredibly generous offer. Total donors that we've had money-wise have been 17. Only 17 people have donated. So lowest amount we've received so far, which is 10, which that can buy a coat. $10 can buy a coat, y'all. Obviously the largest amount that we've received in one donation is 1,000. And you know what? It doesn't matter if it's 10. It doesn't matter if it's 5. I am beyond grateful to the 17 donors and the 5 coat donors so far, 2 of which are me and my daughter. So between 17 and 5, what's that? That's 22. So if I take myself out of it, 20. I'm so grateful to the 21 donors who have donated either coats or cash. This week, so I told you we wrapped up our first coat drive with 96 needs. Of those, as of right now, we are going to be able to meet. How many of these are we going to be able to meet? I have to make sure my total number is right. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. It's basically 29. Okay, so yes. Okay. So of the, I was in the wrong tab, sorry. Here we go. Okay, so we still have 25 girl coat needs for our current needs of the first round, where those are people basically, I haven't guaranteed I'd get coats, but I've almost guaranteed I'd get coats. I felt comfortable with the amount of money that we raised, and I was hopeful. I was totally wrong, but I was hopeful because we raised so much money in the first 2 days that it would be a breeze to raise money this year. I was totally wrong, and I will own that. And it was a good learning experience for me, but basically I promised 96 people we would get them coats. And I will be able to do that with the amount of money that I raise. It's gonna still be tough, because if this trend of nobody donating continues, like it's all gonna be bought. And like these coats prices, they're getting higher and higher. My first shopping trip to Goodwill, I don't want to pull that out because it's another one, I just did that, so I remember it. My first shopping trip to Goodwill, with the discount they gave us, our average coat cost per coat with the discount was like $4.80. At Savers last night where I went, I bought 10 coats. Average coat price was just shy of $11 per coat. That is the difference between 2 weeks, basically. It's more than doubled in price. And that's because retailers are, even though it's not colder in Utah yet, retailers are expecting it to get colder. So the prices are higher. My hope was also to be able to buy more coats, which thankfully I was able to buy a little more coats. If I hadn't started 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't even have the 67 coats that I currently have. So thank goodness that we did that. But anyway, so I mentioned, so right now, as of right now, of the 96 I've essentially promised we're going to get coats to, we still need 58. Now, I know I said I have 67 coats. Here's the thing. I started buying before I had coat needs. And that's why I used the data based off of the 2019 Kids Coat Drive, the distribution. And to be honest, I think I'm still happy that I bought what I bought. Yes, as of the first coat round, I have more sizes and certain sizes that weren't necessarily needed. I fully believe as the coat drive goes on, as it gets colder, that these sizes are going to be needed. They're not crazy sizes. I didn't buy a bunch of adult 3XL or a bunch of infant preemie sizes. I bought a bunch of these middle sizes, like 7/8s, 14/16s, that as of last year, they were some of our biggest needs that we had. And some of those that were very hard to find last year. Like I think I picked up a couple 12 to 14s. And those were insanely hard to find last year, and they're just as hard to find this year. In fact, those are some of our greatest needs, the sizes 12 to 14 in kid. But anyway, yeah, I'm glad. So even though I have 67 coats on hand, 7 of those donated. I've purchased 60 of those. But the thing is of the 96 coat requests that we received, I can only, what's 96 minus 58? I'm going to do that math really quick. So that's 8. So of those, we've only been able to fill 38 of those needs so far, is what those numbers tell me. And I have, y'all, this isn't from a lack of trying. Every moment that I have not been at work, because when I'm at work, I work, but every moment that I have not been at work or had not had my daughter, I have spent trying to figure out what the heck I am going to do about getting these coats. It is incredibly important to me to try to get as much of this done before the cold hits. Last year, I started this kind of on accident, and it was because I was donating my daughter's old outgrown coats to other moms and dads in a couple of Facebook groups that I frequent, where we help each other out. I was one of those also asking for things to be helped out because last year I was really struggling financially. And I kept seeing these coat needs, and it was like 20 to 30 degrees outside, and these parents just had no money. They had no coats that fit their kids, and it was just like this crazy. I remember in this one group I'm in where it's a bunch of mothers helping mothers. It was just like literally like 20 posts a day about, does anybody have a coat in this size? I didn't mean to start this project. It was because I was also there. And I was in the thick of this myself. But the thing that I realized is, like, I looked at my own situation and I looked at my daughter. He was amazing. My daughter is the absolute most important person in my life. And I feel in my heart that I would do anything for her, but sometimes I have not been able to. And I saw all these kids. I knew those parents felt the exact same about their kids, about their grandkids, as I do about my daughter. And, you know, at the time, I only had my daughters have grown coats. And I didn't have any resources beyond that. I didn't have any money. But I knew that I was good at certain things. At least I thought I did. I knew that I could bring people together because I had also, at one point in my life, also had a lot of money. And I connected a lot with people who had a lot of money. But I was in a unique position where, because of where I was in that moment of not having any money, that I was able to connect those people and serve as an intermediary between maybe people who had disposable income, who wanted to help but didn't know who or how. I could connect them with the people who needed that help. And I could do it in a way that they could get that help directly to those kids for something that they knew that money would be well spent on. You know, I often say, for better or worse, none of us get to choose which situation we come into in this lifetime, and none of us get to choose our parents. None of us. You know, I was very blessed that I had wonderful parents, and they've remained wonderful parents. They weren't perfect, but that's not how I define wonderful parents. They were parents who tried. Some people don't have parents that try to, or some people have parents that try, but like in my situation, they were stuck for a time. So anyway, like I mentioned, we have 96 coat requests that I have promised. Since that time, I have not done any further advertising in any of these groups asking for coat needs. Since that time, I have gotten 34 more. And as of right now, I have spent $448.19. That was all post-discount. I did the math last night. I've actually saved just over $100 by asking for a discount, and it has not always been easy because those businesses are suffering too, but I've done it because I'm really trying to stretch a dollar here, y'all. But I am so worried with these additional 34, and I know this number. You know, last year we helped out 728 kids. We did not have to turn one coat need away last year. Last year I had 242 coat donations. And my ask for y'all is, you know, I get it. 2020 has been exhausting for all of us. I mean, look at me. I look like a total hot mess today because I am a total hot mess today. I'm looking at these numbers and I'm feeling that sense of overwhelm I was desperately trying to avoid by starting this project early. And I'm starting to feel it. But we have to help these kids. I said it last year and I'll say it this year. I cannot turn one child away who needs a coat, especially after the things me and our other volunteers saw not yesterday, but that we saw last year delivering these coats. We saw some of the saddest things. It was heartbreaking. And so if even one of these kids has a coat need and I can't meet it, I have to figure out a way to do it. And I'm asking for your help. Please help me. We were enormously successful in a short amount of time last year. And I'm scared we're not going to be this year. And I'm scared. I don't even care about being successful. I failed a lot in my life, but I do care about the kids not having coats when in the dead of winter this year. I'm really scared of that. And so I am begging you, because last year me and our volunteers, we saw it. We saw it with our own eyes. Please help us, those of us who are on the front lines and responding to this by getting these kids these coats. Please help us to not be put in the position where we have to turn away even one child who needs a coat. Because we cannot do that. Oh, I'm kind of a mess, so I'm going to turn this off. I think 20 minutes is plenty of time anyway for a weekly update. As I mentioned, we really need your help. Please help. Help us help these kids. And you can also email me or message me anytime. I would be happy to send you a link to our Google spreadsheets with all of our updated information on how we're spending the money, how much money we're getting. I'm keeping meticulous records of it because that's what I do. And I want to do everything within my power to make sure this project succeeds. Please help. Please. Thank you.